What's up, guys? You've already seen the title, so let's just get right into it, because it's crazy that in the 21st century, of this age, of this time, of this era, there are some people who would treat others as slaves, who would treat others as complete non-entities, as animals. This is the case of Halima. Halima is a Ugandan citizen who went to Saudi Arabia to work as a house help. She's already working as a house help in her boss's house. Her boss's name is not given, but you can see in the multiple videos that her boss has posted, Halima is unhappy. Her boss forces Halima to do videos with him so that he can become famous. That is, he took Halima from Uganda to come over to Saudi Arabia, gave her the advocate through the Saudi embassy so that she can get the work visa to come over to Saudi Arabia, to use Halima not just for her to work as a maid, as a house help, but to use Halima to gain fame. To use Halima to gain fame. It's crazy. You can see in most of the videos she's so unhappy. She doesn't want to be there. She's so sad. I can't just imagine the emotional pain, the mental trauma that Halima is going through right now. It's crazy. I can't imagine. This is crazy. Why would another human being exploit another human being like she's nothing? And I like the way Halima has been so composed, because she's been so calm. But she showed. If you look at her face throughout those videos, it shows she's so unhappy. She doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want her boss, to do these videos with her. She would rather just go and carry on with her household chores and take care of the house, And I like the fact that she's so sad and she does not react. She does not resist. She does not argue with her boss. When her boss tells her to come over, let them do these TikTok videos so that he can be famous through these TikTok videos. Halima just comes and sits there and with a sad face, be it pointing her fingers like in this video up, or being her cleaning or picking whatever she's picking here in this video, and they're sitting there laughing. Because if she dares resist and tries to fight back, her boss, saying that she will not carry on carry on doing these TikTok videos, this man can kill her, and case go nowhere. No punishment will be attached to this man for killing Halima, because the Arabs sees African house helps as animals. They see African house helps as animals because Muhammad himself owned slaves, black slaves, and encouraged the ownership of black slaves. Now, as Africans, we all studied in history about the Arabic slave trade, which took place in Africa, where black people were taken out of Africa, male and female, to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to Iraq, to India, to Pakistan, to Iran, all these nations as slaves. The men were being castrated, and the women were being forced to work to be prostitutes, for some of these Arab leaders. So that mentality has been passed down from generations to generation. And added to the fact that Saudi Arabia just, banned slavery in 1960. In 1960, Saudi Arabia banned slavery. So this mindset, this stigma against Africans as slaves have been passed down from generations to generation up until now. You being seen as slave, you are not considered human, because if you are considered human, you'll be seen as a citizen of a nation, and your rights, to live, your rights for justice, your rights for police security, your right for social amenities, will be guaranteed. But in such countries where they have the slave mentality that black people are slaves, these rights are not being guaranteed. So these women, these house helps, can be killed, and their bosses can dispose their bodies, and the state will not even carry out investigations. Right? Not to even talk of taking this boss to the court, and try him for killing his maid. It will never happen in such. That is why it's so rampant. We've heard of so many murders of African house helps in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Qatar, in the UAE, in Oman, even in Iran, that have been killed by their bosses. There are so many of them. Now we can't stop people, Africans not to go to Saudi Arabia, especially women not to go to Saudi Arabia to go work for as house helps, because everyone needs money to survive. This world nowadays is so hard. There are so many women who are from a broken background, broken homes. Some of them, they are orphans, so they have to work to survive. You cannot stop someone to go to another country to go look for a job, to survive, to feed back her brothers and sisters, send them to school, make sure they have the best of the best, not even the best of the best, like a little bit better than what they were going through when she was in that country. So it's crazy. So I believe the government should hold the Saudi king responsible to make sure he pass stringent, strict laws so that bosses cannot exploit their maids, their house helps anymore. And any boss who kills his house help should be held, accountable according to the law, and should be killed. Shouldn't be given 10 years imprisonment like what I saw in Iran, where a husband cut off his head's wife. A husband cuts off his wife's head, and he gets just 7 years imprisonment. That is, he cut off his wife's head. This wasn't the case of, a case of. This wasn't the case of self-defense, of which both of them were fighting, and his wife kind of like picked up a knife, and then he went ahead and carried a machete and chopped off his wife's head, in the basis of, if I didn't kill her, she would have killed me. But his wife was simply a runaway wife who he married. He was 35 years of age. He married his wife when she was 12, and she got pregnant at the age of 13 and had her first child. Birthed her first child at the age of 14, around 9 months after, you understand, towards 14 years. She was a mother. At the later part of 13 years, going to 14 years, she became a mother. The way this man treated her, this man never treated her rightly. This man treated her like trash. Up to the extent she was running away, but this man would not let her, leave. So she ran away. This man brought her back and chopped off her head and said, it's a honor. What she did was a honor crime. So his honor, he became a laughing stock by her running away from him. So he had to regain his honor by killing her. Do you know what the sentence the Iranian Justice Department gave this husband who cut off his wife's head? They gave this husband 7 years imprisonment. 7 years imprisonment, 7 years imprisonment for cutting your innocent wife's head. A minor, not a major, a minor. You are 35 years of age. You cut off a girl's head who happens to be a wife, who is 14 years of age. And you get what? You get 7 years imprisonment. This is not a case of self-defense because she's a runaway wife. So you cut off her head. So it's crazy. So if they can treat their wives that way, they kill their own wives, and they still don't get proper justice, what of their maids? Of which their maids are not even Saudi, of which their maids are not even native, they are not Arabic. Their maids are black people, a black person again, for that matter, where everyone sees us as inferior, everyone sees us as, animals. Everyone sees us as, they have the right to, to dominate us, and we have to just keep quiet and go along with it. So it's crazy. So guys, I'm begging for justice for Halima. I'm asking the head of the African Union, to team up with the president of Uganda, to mount pressure on the king of Saudi Arabia, King Salman, Mohammed bin Salman, that is his son, who is the ruler now, to kind of like save this girl so that this girl can be put in the Ugandan embassy and sent home immediately. Because I know by now her passport has already been confiscated from her. She has no place to go. This is a video of her running in the streets of Riyadh. Running in the streets, having nowhere to go. It's crazy. So guys, that is what I wanted to say. I wanted to just highlight this topic about Halima to create awareness so that we shouldn't give up the fight until Halima is back in Uganda, safe and sound. Thank you for watching.